So before I start this video, I want to just make a huge disclaimer. I'm not a nutritionist, I am not a dietitian, I am not a doctor, I am not a health coach, and I am not a psychologist. I'm solely speaking off of personal experience and off of the lessons that I've learned throughout my life. Something else that I do have to say is Sansa is sleeping right behind me, so she's the best. So there are so many directions that I could go here, and I hope this video is able to come together. I want to talk about intuitive eating. So I first want to define intuitive eating in the way that I see it and in the way that I understand it, and apply it in my everyday life. In my opinion, and in line with author and registered dietitian Evelyn Tribole, an intuitive eater is someone who makes food choices without experiencing guilt or an ethical dilemma, honors hungers, respects fullness, and enjoys the pleasure of eating. So I have been searching around for a way to explain and kind of define intuitive eating the way I see it, and trying to find a way that defines it in a way that resonates with me. And this definition honestly puts it in perfect words. And it's actually, this video is inspired by a podcast that talks more about it. It's the 10% Happier podcast featuring Evelyn Tribole, and I'm gonna link it in the description below. So what exactly does intuitive eating have to do with running? In my opinion and in my experience, it has everything to do with running. Like I was saying in my last video, how to separate yourself from the numbers in a sport filled with numbers. Distance runners, especially myself, have the tendency to attach themselves to all of the data in the sport. So that being said, as someone who has really dealt with that, I also tend to attach my numbers to the calories I'm eating and the food intake, which in my opinion actually is also another variable in the sport that distance runners kind of unfortunately get wrapped up in. Eating is sort of another aspect in the sport that runners can have control over. And it can have a direct impact on our performance, on our health, and our happiness, even if it doesn't seem like it in the short term. Additionally, the stereotypical distance runner, in my opinion, and especially in collegiate athletics, is skinny, muscly, very lean, a body type that I really don't easily possess myself. And in collegiate athletics, as we line up in uniforms that are pretty much our underwear, running around people staring at us, I think it's really easy for a distance runner to feel out of place in their body. It just makes me really sad and really emotional knowing that other distance runners have felt the way that I have felt on that line. Standing next to other runners, just constant comparison, a feeling of humiliation, disappointment, not focusing on the race whatsoever, and a feeling of just wanting to go back to bed and crawl under your sheets for the rest of the day. As distance runners, we kind of see all the top performers, or a lot of them, who PR every meet or score in all of the championship races. We see them run around the track or the cross-country fields with little to no body fat. And please know that I am not at all body shaming whatsoever. I think every single body is beautiful and individual, and I'm all about body positivity and more about body neutrality. So I'm not body shaming whatsoever. I'm just speaking of someone on the outside of a champion looking in, and just really having that longing to want to be fast, to want to score for your team, to want to contribute to the sport, and to want to be successful. And a lot of times when you look at those champions who look completely different than you, it can really start to get to you mentally. I digress. Intuitive eating has improved my running because it has taught me how to respect and to connect with my body. And I'm connecting from the inside now rather than the aesthetics from the outside. Intuitive eating has shown me that I can eat a salad for dinner, or I can eat pizza for dinner and emotionally feel the same after. No guilt, no regrets, just eating healthy because I feel like it, but also eating indulgently because I feel like it. Before practicing intuitive eating, and when I was in the midst of my eating disorder, I was literally eating 800 calories a day, no more than that, while also running 60 plus miles a week. My energy, my thoughts, everything was consumed around food and around calories, and it was exhausting. I thought about food in moralistic terms. I was miserable, I was anemic, and I was lonely. Fortunately, my recovery has led me to absolutely just fall in love with intuitive eating. Although it's still a work with progress, recovery is never linear. Intuitive eating has really kind of reformed my relationship with food. It's improved my relationship with myself, my relationship with my worth, and it's improved my relationship with the sport of running. When you truly learn to listen to your body, respect your hunger, respect your fullness, and also respect your cravings, your body learns to respect you right back. My running performance and the way my runs feel has blossomed because now I know how important it is to eat enough food. And I eat to fuel. But by doing that, I'm also listening to my body's cues of when I'm hungry and maybe when I need a little bit more carbs or when I'm lacking protein or something like that. I also understand that my food intake might look different on a day-to-day basis just because of how I'm feeling or simply based on life circumstances and how that day is going. I think as athletes, if you are fueling intuitively, you're also fueling for performance as well. First of all, when you have a healthy relationship with food, your body isn't impacted by the extra stress that you might put on yourself when trying to diet or trying to restrict. Personally, when I'm no longer surrounding my energy and my thoughts around food, I'm able to use that energy somewhere else and grow in another aspect of my life. And one of those aspects is running. I can focus on becoming the best runner and the best athlete that I can be instead of focusing solely on eating 800 calories perfectly to the T or making sure I'm eating, just the perfect amount of carbs or perfect amount of fats. Instead, I'm just focusing on listening to my body, and I can focus now on strength training and how I can become a better runner and how I can become a better person. Additionally, especially after a while, our bodies know when we are fueling and they know when we aren't fueling. And how can we expect to run to our fullest potential when we're literally running on empty? Also, when we underfuel, we put ourselves at risk for anemia, bone deficiencies, and then which can both lead to injuries or stress fractures. And then also for female runners, not fueling enough and really underfueling can affect our hormonal health, which has such a big impact on our future down the road and can have a really serious impact on our reproductive systems, and then also lead to bone deficiencies like osteoporosis or something like that. Our bodies literally need food to survive. Our bodies need food just to live and breathe the air that we have around us. And now we expect to run intensely, run 60 plus miles a week, and race and run PRs. All of that and all of the demands as runners that we put on our body is going to require a little bit more fuel. And I cannot express how okay and actually how awesome that is. Our bodies listen to us, and we need to listen to our bodies in return and fuel it, listen to our cravings, so then we can thrive in our running world and thrive in the rest of our life. As I have adapted intuitive eating, I've also come to just better, kinder terms with myself and with my body. Like I said, I'm not giving the energy anymore to the restriction or to the dieting. And I've become more confident, I've become calmer, I've become happier, and in result, my running has also become more confident, calmer, more relaxed, and way more enjoyable. Now, I'm still definitely not even close to perfect. My relationship with myself is far from perfect. My relationship with my body is not perfect, but I can wholeheartedly say that intuitive eating has had such a positive impact on all of those relationships. Okay, so I know this video is literally all over the place, and that's just because I have so many thoughts and it's kind of hard for me to put it all into words and put it all kind of into one direction, just because there are so many directions within food and running and intuitive eating and eating disorders and body dysmorphia, self-love, literally so many topics that I could go into a tangent off of just by thinking about intuitive eating. So I know this is all over the place. Just know that I am just so passionate about advocating for a sustainable and healthy relationship with running and the sport. And with that goes a healthy relationship with food and yourself. So if you find that you're kind of struggling with your food intake and having just kind of disordered thoughts or behaviors, now I said I'm not a professional or anything, but I am linking some resources down below to hopefully help you along your journey. I don't want people to feel the way that I have felt or to go through the experiences that I have gone through and just to spend unnecessary energy on restriction and dieting and always looking to improve your body. I think society, we put a lot of pressure on our body types and the way that we look, when really our value needs to be internal, and how we treat others and how we're making a positive impact on the world and the energy that we give off. If you follow me on Instagram or any social media, I've been very open about mental health issues, especially my own, for a few years now. And you know what? I'm not really afraid to challenge traditional ways of living, especially if that means it'll lead to a more sustainable and happy lifestyle. Intuitive eating is rejecting the diet mentality. It's rejecting the diet culture, and it's about enjoying food and enjoying your life. Intuitive eating gives us the ability to enjoy the company around us while we are at a meal or something like that. You know, intuitive eating allows us to connect with how we are feeling, connect with our emotions, and to connect with our body. Just know that you are way more than any diet out there. You are more than a body. You need to listen to the person within, and intuitive eating is exactly all of that. All right, so if you made this far, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I know this video was kind of all over the place. Maybe it was boring, maybe it was pointless, but just know that I'm speaking from the heart, and I just want the best for everyone following along in this journey here, and everyone on their path to running and their path to long-term health and happiness. So there's just like a lot of ways that I could go here. And also I kind of wanted to tread the line of being qualified enough to give professional advice. So kind of keeping it a little bit more vague, but offering resources down in the description below, and still hoping that I'm able to inspire and to encourage at least one person out there. So I really highly recommend listening to the podcast that I referred to in the beginning of the video. It's in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I would love you to click that like button and subscribe to my channel. If you have any thoughts or questions or something like that, feel free to leave it in the comments below, or hit me up on Instagram, amco_7. I will see you next week in my next video, but until then, happy running.